Just a final mention for Mazza, because he deserves it. Yeah. 2 outstanding saves again today. It makes you wonder how we've managed to attain the services of a keeper like that at this level, really, doesn't it?
Well, there've been, there's other league clubs being after him, but like we're saying, it's not just about money with some of these players. They're bought into the way David wants to run a football club. They're bought into the training, and they're bought into the family feel. And now we welcome them into this football club, and we do everything with a smile on the fan. I can assure you, the last 4 or 5 games where it's not been going the way you want it to, there's not been one person in that football club walking around with the chin on the floor. Because if they have been, I'll make sure they're out the door and coming back in with a smile back on the face, because there's no need for it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't alter the result. It alters nothing. So being doom and gloom alters nothing. Might as well let's be up there. Let's be happy that we've got another day to change it and fight on.
Thank you very much for joining us. Mansfield Town Chairman Andy Perry here on Stags Player. I've got a few of the guys still with me. It's marvellous the way that the dialogue box is so firmly open, and we talked about a bit of creative journalism going on regarding the relationship with the chairman and the manager. There doesn't seem to be any issues at all, is there?
I don't think we really thought there were in the first place, Nigel, to be honest. I think Andy Perry has shown himself to be an excellent chairman for the last year and a bit at Mansfield. I think the other owners have done a tremendous job as well, and I think all thought that David Holsworth has done a good job as manager since he's come in as well. But inevitably, if you go and lose a few games on the trot, there's grumblings from the fans, but I think it was something and nothing really. But it's great that we can talk to the chairman straight after the game, and what an incredible contrast from having Keith Haslam here for those 15 years, and it's great to have our football club back, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim Morris, who's the sports editor of the Mansfield Chad. Tim, apparently perhaps these guys play the media a little bit more than perhaps we realise.
Sounded that way, didn't it? Listen to Mr. Perry there, yeah. He enjoys it as much as we do, I think, yeah.
And I suppose that's important as well, because even though the freedom of the press dictates, as he said, the fans want to know much more than we ever have known. We have to be the outlet to provide that information, and it's important that dialogue is open, and they are as honest as they possibly can be with us.
Yeah, and I think they are now. As Martin said, what a difference between the previous owner and the current ones. And I think there's also a trust there now as well. They know that the media in Mansfield and Nottinghamshire wide have got nothing but praise for the football club and want it to do well. That's the most important thing. We're not looking for stories that are going to slag the club off and bring them down, the red top journalism, if you like, here today, gone tomorrow. The media's always been supportive of this football club, and I think the new owners recognise that.
Let's talk about today's game. Steve Archon's with us, who was my summariser today. Just a very quick word with Steve there. You couldn't get two more contrasting games of football, could you? Oxford the other night, free-flowing, stylist type football, and today was a real blood and thunder type event, wasn't it?
It was a game that we expected, Nigel, to be honest with you. I thought that Hayes and Yeading had come in the way that they had, and a little bit surprised more than anything at the way that they sort of kicked chunks out the players left, right and centre. I thought that they'd be a little bit more responsive and not as nasty, but each to their own. They actually came with a game plan. They thought that Mansfield's got skillful players out here. Let's try and put them a little bit wary and put them a little bit on the back foot, and we might be able to achieve something from the game, because, and again, I mean this is no disrespect whatsoever, they knew they weren't in the same sort of skill class as what Mansfield Town's players are. So the way you do that is you try and bring them down to their level, and I think the way to bring Mansfield down to Hayes and Yeading's level was to kick chunks out us a little bit and make us a little bit wary. But no, it certainly wasn't a classic. You wouldn't bust yourself down to Blockbusters to get this one on DVD, would you?
Well, Martin would. I guess we're talking, guys, about winning ugly, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean it was a difficult game today. Hayes and Yeading didn't make it easy for us, and it just took a few pieces of individual skill, I think. And we had a few standout players today, I think. Andy Perry has already mentioned, and you mentioned earlier about Alan Marriott. At a key moment in the game when we were a couple of goals ahead, he made a couple of brilliant saves. One, with his outstretched hand was absolutely magnificent, and then he followed it up with another one a couple of minutes later from close range, and those were key moments in the game. Actually, he nearly got to the penalty as well, didn't he? He wasn't far away from getting that. Thought he had a good game today. And up front, I thought Spate and Duffy were outstanding. Duffy, of course, has walked away with a match ball, the hat-trick, but I thought Spate did really well as well. He gave them a lot of problems at the back. He won both the penalties for Mansfield in the second half, and he kept turning the defenders, and they couldn't really handle him. They fouled him an awful lot, as you've already said, fouled Nicks a lot as well, and I think it just actually took today a few of those key performances from a few players to win the game for us, because all in all I didn't think it was our best performance. I thought we were a little bit hesitant at the back on occasion, and in midfield wasn't our best performance of the season by any means, but just those key players today have won the game for us, and at the end of the day it's the 3 points that counts.
I suppose as well, one man's misfortune, Tim, is someone else's fortune, because Stevie Eisted came on, dropped into that central role and did really well in there, didn't he?
Yeah, big chance for him today, wasn't it? And all right, Martin says the midfield wasn't at its best today, but it was never going to be when Nicks went off so early, to be fair. And he didn't really put a foot wrong, Eisted, did he? He kept it ticking over in midfield. We kept going forward as much as possible, and I think David Holdsworth will be quietly pleased with how he's done. The worry, of course, will be Tuesday night, and will Kyle Nicks be fit to play? Because all Stags fans know the best midfield so far this season has been Somner and Nicks together.
I suppose as well, looking forward to Tuesday night, let's move this conversation on a little bit. It's a hell of a place to go at the best of times, but what a journey, one that even is beating the legend that is Martin Shaw. Even Martin Shaw's not going to Barrow on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, tough game to get to on a Tuesday night, and it'll be a tough game for the Stags, though Barrow I think have not been as good this season as they have been last, and
a bit like Histon as well. Histon are not producing the same form.
Although, yeah, I mean, Barrow lost 6-1 at home to Rushden, which was an extraordinary scoreline, wasn't it? And of course we beat them 4-1 here earlier on in the season. I'm confident we can go there and get a win. I think I'm right in saying that we haven't won away from home in a night match under David Holdsworth, and this will be a good time to break that record. It won't be easy by any means, but I think if we can put in a good performance, I think we've got every chance of going there and picking up the 3 points. And if we could, with a home game against Forest Green Rovers next Saturday, which also won't be easy, it'll be no easier than today, we could find ourselves on the back of a really good run and really pushing up the table.
That's the one thing that David Holdsworth and of course we all identified, our away form has got to be much better. But it can't get much more a difficult place to go, can it, Tim?
It can't, but he's got to start somewhere. Is it 3 away games without a win now? 2 successive defeats and the draw before that. We've got to start winning away from home if we're serious about the playoffs, let's be honest. And we owe Barrow one after last season when we played, I think, not too badly, to be honest, and we ended up losing. Simple set piece, I think, at the end we conceded from. Yeah, strength's going to be the key, though. They're a very, very physical team, as we've already seen this season. They were last season. We've got to stand up and be counted, and I think this season we're better equipped to do that than we were last season.
If you're a statistician, and you are, Martin Shaw, 2 from 12, now 6 from 6, you know, you can put a positive spin or a negative spin on anything, I guess. But I suppose at least we're back in some sort of form without the fully extended squad that we've got. So I mean that's something to be pleased about, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it'll be important that we've got Kyle Perry coming back on Tuesday night at Barrow. He gave them all kinds of problems early in the season. I can remember him winning the penalty, I think, for the third goal, wasn't he? He was brought down by Bolland, I think, for the third goal against Barrow at Field Miller in the season. And they're very, very tough at the back. They've got big guys at the back in Bolland and Jones, really tough, strong characters at the back, and I think it'll be good to have Perry back in the side. Though of course, will he earn his place back in the side? But we've already said Spate and Duffy have been absolutely outstanding up front for the Stags today, and I'm not completely sure that Carl Perry is going to walk straight back into that side.